Hi guys, I'm ExactChaos and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2. This is the spring update, the beta edition, and yeah, we are tracking along nicely. After 2 episodes, we are now, I think, properly profitable as long as we stay cautious about how we use our money. But I think we are properly profitable. Half a year in, we've got $1 million. We're probably fully on our way to a $2 million dollar profit. Now, what we can start seeing over here is that the NHCS passengers is starting to see a lot of demand. So much so that we could at least double the capacity of the line and still do a pretty decent thing. So the question that's starting to pop up is, do we start upgrading some of these vehicles, replacing them, etc.? I also think it's probably a good idea for us to replace some of these vehicles. So we've got about 30 vehicles on this line. Let's have a look at doing a quick replacement deal over here. So for cargo, we've got this new vehicle. Can we move food with it? We cannot. So we would need to go with all cargo. Ooh, this one actually carried more. This one carries less, but is much quicker. So ultimately, our capacity would be better. We would also be emitting less, which is good. This is going to be $2 million to replace it. So what I think we do, we don't replace everything, but we replace 20. 20? Do we replace 20? Do we replace more? I think at least 20. So if we go and replace 20 of those vehicles at a cost of 1.4 million, let's go and do that. Replace those vehicles. Now the question is, do we keep the others? Do we replace the others? Do we chuck them out? Now let's do that. Now I'm kind of... No, I think we just need to replace all of them, to be honest. I think we just need to replace all of them. Look at this thing, the Zephyr. The Pioneer Zephyr. I think let's just replace all of them. I've changed my mind. Let's just replace all of them. Cost a little bit more money, but now things are going to run much quicker and smoother. New Haven is starting to grow nicely, and even look at this suburb over here. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that just absolutely beautiful? Excellent. My plan with regards to keeping all of this A-OK is not really working. So probably need to... Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. They can kind of hang out over there if they wanted to. It's not the end of the world that they hang out over there. But what we do need to do is have a look at, can we replace these vehicles? And I think the answer to that question is, at this stage, probably not. Because we will need to spend a bit more money on it. Now, with this guy popping back in, we're up at 80 now. So I think we can have a fair bit more capacity. So let's manage these vehicles. If we wanted to replace those two, have a look at the replacement. So I don't want to do Zephyr, no way. So steam locomotives at around 100 Ks is gonna be at least 2 million. Right? 13 million for that guy. Okay, then electric. Ooh, we have electric. That's too expensive. Diesel at 80 kilometers an hour. That's not that expensive. But will it be able to be comparable to this tractive effort? It's going to be pretty close, actually, but that'll be 80 kilometers an hour. So we could go with this guy. The Elco HH series was an early series of diesel-electric locomotives built by the American Locomotive Company in, I have no idea how to pronounce that, Schenectady, New York. I have no idea. But whether that's a passenger style, probably not a passenger. Well, it's not that strong. It's not that strong. If you take the power of this guy, tractive effort. I mean, this guy's better. New industry. This guy is just more expensive and more costly to maintain. Yeah, this guy's much better. It's just going to be a bit slower though, but potentially worth our while. So let's see. So if we maintain our same cool color scheme, right, and then we go with passenger wagons, the 6-axle. Yeah, I think the 6-axle is all good. We don't need to go up to 180 kilometers an hour. and we say that's 2020. So if we do 2 of them, blah, blah, that's 4 million per vehicle. So we need to get ourselves up to at least 8.4 million in the bank if we wanted to go with that guy. Ooh, new stuff, streamlined coach, New Mexico, even quicker road vehicles. And then we've got the Hiawatha, which is a very quick one. In 1935, at 160 or 140 kilometers an hour, that's pretty quick, I think. Serve long distance. The Pullman, I like it. I'm not opposed to this configuration. It'll double our capacity. If we add an extra vehicle, it's just mediocre. That's also still mediocre. So it's going to be pretty much the same speed. Which factory is going to close? I'm not going to bother with that right now. So that, as a setup, would be even better. I can get a little bit more cash going on, and then we have a 60 train running through there. Let's do that. So that's going to be just over 11 million. So let's borrow some more money, get us just over 11 million in the bank. Okay, let's pause the game so we don't lose that money while we do that. Now, I want to go ahead and quickly upgrade these lines. So manage this vehicle. We're going to replace them like so. Replace for... Oh, I forgot we're selling the existing trains. Anyway, there we go. Do that. Now, let's see. It's going to be slower. Of course, it's going to be slower. There's 20 or 60 people on there. It's going to be slower. I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. We'll be able to move a little bit more people through. But it's going to be, I think this is going to help us out with regards to the money. I think because this is not going to run much more expensive than what we've been running at this point in time. But we'll be moving way more passengers. And we'll fill this one up quite straight away on this side. And probably, and straight away on the other side too. So very comfortable with that. Very keen to see that one be all filled up. That initial one was all good. It helped us out quite a lot as an initial little connection between these two cities, getting the cities starting to grow and so on. So that was pretty good. Now, seeing this train coming in here, let's pause it a little bit and see. Oh, it looks pretty good, and I do like the nice dark green color scheme. I like it. I like it. There we go. Now, we made a little bit less money with the people on board because of I'm assuming because it's a bit slower, but I think that's going to be a pretty decent run. Now, I borrowed a lot more money. How much more did I borrow? About 4 million more, and that's going to cost us a little bit more in the long run. Let's repay at least some of it. Just I think that's going to be all good. Let's just repay some of it. Oh, these guys running at a pretty... look at that. We're getting pretty big now. We're getting enough food in here, I think. Well, pretty much enough. I wouldn't mind starting to expand this area a little bit. I want to do that. I'll just get rid of some of these connections over here. Yeah, I did a little bit too much. I need to get rid of some of these houses. This is where we're going to really expand the station. Almost ready to fill up another train on this side. 2 filled up trains. I'm very keen to see what the actual cost is of it. Oh, look at this guy. Another 160 kilometer an hour train. For long distances, these trains are going to be awesome. Love the US trains for that, I think. Almost good enough. Almost good enough. There should be a few people on the bus there, right? And drop off. Yeah, more people coming straight to the platform. Straight to the platform. Up to 50, 51. I wouldn't mind getting up to 60 guys. We're almost there. There's another bus arriving. 52. Oh, no one was dropped off there. Okay, we've got 60 people on board here. We've got 53 people waiting, but what I'm keen on seeing is what we're going to make of a full load here. 1.129 million, which is good. And this train is running practically full in the other direction. Let's see our friend on the other side. How are we doing? Ooh, not quite, not quite. So we're probably running about what we can now. We shouldn't be expanding our capacity too much more on that one. What we should now start doing, Colorado Springs has got a new goods factory available, though those are tertiary products which take us a while to be useful to us, or be able to really sort that out. Now, what is the next thing we do? The question that's in my mind is, do I do a spur off of here and run that in here, that we could ultimately go and run through to Vancouver, potentially even connect through this way and run through there, so we can have multiple lines running? Do we do that? Or do we start looking at? I'm very worried when we get to more freight movements. You really need a bit of money to be resilient enough to run through some of those things. So I'm going to hold off just a little bit longer on really getting into the freight stuff. I may rather go ahead and expand this area a little bit and get that second line to run to Fort Worth. Fort Worth requires fuel and things, so we'll never really it'll never really be awesome, I think, for us, Fort Worth. Well, not in the early stages. It won't be an awesome piece in the early stages. Okay, we've got a little bit extra money in there. Ooh, that's only a half a load, guys. Oh, yeah. But there was half a load going out too. Do we have everything now? Yeah, I'm starting to be a little worried about some of these things. But anyway, we will grow. We will continue to grow. How's this going? We're doing a decent amount of food, but not quite as much as I would have initially maybe appreciated. 6 of 8. Yeah, okay. Well, food is coming in. Just not maybe at the rate we would have appreciated it. How's this guy doing? Yeah, we're barely doing that second level. So we can certainly up our game by moving more product, I think. But in order to do that, we would probably need bigger trucks or a bit of a train connection or something. I think Fort Worth is the direction to go. Ooh, that was a pretty big number there in the last year that we made. So that's all good. That's going to be good. Okay, I think Fort Worth is the next thing for us. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start by demolishing some of this stuff. Okay. Clear that out a little bit for us. Even that. So let's do that. Now let's go and configure and plop in an extra section through there. Now, in order for that to work, we will need an extra platform. Let's do that. Get some more platforms going there. That's okay. We can certainly expand it even more a little bit later. We will do, that's platform passenger buildings. Do we expand here? Ooh, I kind of like it. Just to make sure we're continuously adding a little bit of flair to the station building. Let's expand that one over there. That's all good. From a MISC perspective, we would like to do that. That's okay. And shall we? Yeah, let's do that right over there. And this one right over here, so people can actually go from the one platform to the other. That's all connected at this stage. Good. Okay, so let's move that out. What I'll do is I will redo some of these kind of little road connections through here, like so. I don't want them touching. The touching thing is the problem. Let's move that. Touching. No touching. No touching. Do that. Do that. Do that. So hopefully we don't have any funny business going on over here. Now I can add some more tracks here. That's obviously the plan. We'll run our track through there. And through here. That should be pretty easy for us to accommodate. And we will run it up to about this spot right here. At which time, actually, we've got the connection straight on the other side there. Let's just do that. And what we'll do here is we'll try and run straight through. Yep, try and run straight through there. There we go. So that's our spur off that's going to run through here to Fort Worth. That's a pretty direct connection, I think. Now, here, where's our trains? That train's coming back. That's all good. And that means that one went that way. That's all good. What I'll do is I will clear out this section and we will connect them up. There we go. So that'll work. What I'd also do is I'd just run this one through that way. So that we can get that access there. Now, over here, we'll need to do some signaling. So we'll have a signal there. We'll have a signal going out this way. We'll need a signal here, and we'll need one going out that way. I think that's pretty good. We'll add a signal here and a signal there. And now what we'll need to do is all the way at the end here. I'm kind of tempted to do it back at the road connection. We'll do a little something like this. And we'll place our signal there and our signal there. And I think that should kind of hold it. We'll do a signal there and a signal here. And we'll do, that's not the one. Excellent, replacing the existing, that's cool. There we go. So now we've got a little bit more maneuverability. What I'll go is I'll check the lines right in here. So New Haven, Colorado Springs. I'm gonna not what I want to do. I just want to make sure that we can actually use any of our platforms. Now that's good. I will unpause the game so we can start running again. Now we're in a position where we can expand connectivity towards Fort Worth over here. So for Fort Worth, I was thinking, let's have a quick look at the topography. So from a topography perspective, we could hug the mountain and then run it out into this direction. Or, of course, we could run on the other side. So if we are heading through here, we could, of course, run it on this side, hug it, and have the... Yeah, I think that might be better. That ultimately might be better. We've got a little bit more room to maneuver on that side. So getting away from that is probably best. Okay, so let's demolish that. We'll grab a section of a road, and we'll do a little bit of this. And this is basically, I think, where I would like us to go with the train station. And we'll even do a little bit of a stop here. I think that's going to be okay. Now let's build ourselves a bit of a train station here, just ever so quickly. It's going to be one of these side-loaded ones. Hi guys, unfortunately I had a bit of a glitch and was continued a little bit without the recording, so now I'll quickly catch you up with what's happened. So we've built this station in Fort Worth. I've added a bus station plus a cargo goods station for the future, added a few more roads in here, and I've set up a local line. So let me switch on the lines. Set up a local line. I'm just going to up and down the main street over here and just brings people in a little closer because I realized that this guy obviously doesn't connect to all of these houses up here. So that's kind of where it is. Then we built the rail, as I kind of explained previously, to go through here, and I'll switch on the topography to show you my thought process. So we kind of went through here, then crossed the road, hugged these little hills over here, and then ran through here. Initially, I was thinking maybe we need a tunnel, but it actually worked out quite well without a tunnel. A little bit of a cut through the side of the hill here, made it turn all at 120 kilometers an hour, and then joined our original line where we built the spur. And so that works pretty well. We could ultimately even have this connect up that way and create a bit of an interchange there, but no real problem. So then what I did is let's go to the line statistics. I set up the New Haven Fort Worth passenger line with just one vehicle, and we've gone back to the M300, that little rail bus thing, to see how that will go. So I've set it up, and it's actually on its first journey, and it doesn't have any passengers. Where is it? It's almost at Fort Worth. It started at New Haven. No passengers picked up at New Haven, but I believe Fort Worth will give it almost a full load, which is good. So we should start seeing, obviously, Fort Worth growing when we connect them, but at the same time, we should start making a little bit more money from that also. So I believe we should be cash flow positive on this fairly quickly. Now, picking up how many people? Oh, a full load. That is awesome. Always love it when a vehicle picks up a full load. There we go. So now Fort Worth is also being connected to New Haven. New Haven should see some more growth, which in turn will make all of our other lines more profitable. I do always wonder at which point we upgrade vehicles yet again, but for now, all good. Fort Worth is also after tons of passengers already, so I like that idea quite a lot. Ooh, I don't want this. So let's disconnect that guy just to make sure it's not going to do crazy things there for us, because ultimately we're going to expand our station in here quite a lot. What I will also do is just add a little bit of a street just in here, not connected to anything, just to make sure that we don't have anything. Ooh, actually, and maybe even two streets. I don't mind if these two streets are connected to one another. I just don't want them connected to that side, just to make sure we've got a little bit more room for further expansion, potentially in this location. Okay, so you missed a little bit of gameplay, but I think I've caught you up pretty nicely. Oh, and one thing that we can quickly have a look at is both these lines are flexible in terms of which platform they take. So that means we're going to have lots of good work here, in that this guy's coming in. This guy's not going to be out by the time that guy comes in. So that guy's going to go straight into this one, and this guy is going to go straight out this way. And it's not set up that way, so it is pretty good. How full is this? Getting there. Nice. So now we're going to... Ooh, look at that. Big money coming in. So we can almost duplicate the capacity on the Fort Worth line, which until such time as we actually feed it something else, there's another food processing plant popping up somewhere over here. But are we seeing a bit of growth? Yeah, it is in fact growing. And that one should be pretty good. So we can potentially add an extra vehicle to it, in which case we probably need to run that duplication to all the way here somewhere, which I think we can do, so we're ready for that duplication. I've just kind of had the single line in there. I'm thinking from a money perspective, we're probably close to the point where we're not going to bother with single lines for too much longer. We'll like to run you probably up to about there. Yeah, even a little bit more. Up to about there, and I think from here we can tie you in. Let's pause the game just so that we make sure we don't have vehicles on things that they don't need to be on. So what I'll do is I will trim that out, and we'll connect these two up. Tracks, not signals. Through there, thank you very much. And now what we can do is we can add a number of extra signals on the line. Yeah, I think that's going to be all good. So that's good. Now we can duplicate that. So when it gets there, let's go ahead. We can certainly go ahead and buy yet another vehicle here. Again, the M300 at a color of dark blue is what I've chosen for it. So there we go, and buy it and assign it to the Fort Worth line. So I'm assuming, okay. Yeah, it's heading in the wrong direction though. Let's flip it around quickly. It's not great for us, but I just want to make sure we get these vehicles spaced properly. So yeah, that should be a little better. Go back in there, come back out. Just park it for a little bit. Oh, you know what? We could do signals over here. Going in and go. There we go. That should be okay. Now, just thinking about it, we could do with signals over here. Now, I'm a little used to playing, I think if we do this, one way, no. Yeah. It's just for going back this way. You, in fact, have a little section. More planes, more buses. Ooh, a twin coach. 50 kilometers an hour. Not sure I'm going to do that just yet. Just want to check the next train that comes in here. Okay, so that is where it is changing over. That's all good. They should both be full, I think. Yeah. Okay, and we can obviously up the vehicles. Yeah, this guy's going to run in front of that fairly comfortably. These are quicker than those, so that's all good. That guy should never have to slow down for this guy. I just want to see how this signaling setup works over here. Do this so briefly. Okay, cuts across that way. No issues with that. The signaling setup. I believe this train should run in. And this guy should be able to start moving back out. Can this fill up a little more, I'm wondering? Yeah, even that train is not being slowed down at all by it. I do love the dynamic stance. It's really making a fair bit of a difference and allowing for more proper rail building so that you don't have to go crazy with doing these lines as two-way lines. You can run them as one way, get that capacity going straight away. This guy's coming back, probably also full. Excellent. I like it. We are doing a decent job with that. 18, almost ready to go full again. Nice. And I believe this is starting to grow. And are we? Ooh. Now, I believe we're at a point where we potentially need to just add another little bus stop. We'll add it here so that we in the future can go in the other direction. So we'll just add it over there. And then from that perspective, I just need to take that line, the New Haven, not the New Haven, the Fort Worth local. And after Fort Worth Central, I would like to add that station over there. There we go. Good stuff. And certainly pick up a little bit more people. That's another full load there. And even more people are waiting. That's good. We could probably add an extra bus to the mix there. How's our lines doing? Ooh, Fort Worth is making money. The New Haven, Colorado Springs, moving more passengers and struggling a little bit money-wise, I think. But everything is making money apart from Fort Worth local. But it's so close to breaking even that really we are in a pretty decent position. Let's have a look at the big picture numbers here. Let's spend a little money. Fort Worth Machines Factory is now available. We in 1942, the end of 1942, and I'll pause it there. So 2nd of January, we're seeing some new Voltrans boats that we can use. So we ended up with $2.5 million in profits. Very, very little in the line of investment in that year. lots of spend in the previous year and even almost broke even. Wow, look at that. Look at that, even almost broke even. Can we look at the charts? Yes, there we go. Lots of spend over here. Look at that. That was the replace. That has to be a replacement of the Colorado Springs line vehicles. And then look at that. There we go. There we go. Now we're starting to see some good growth over here, but our expenses remains high, but we're managing that pretty nicely. What I'll quickly do before I finalize this, I'll just repay a little bit more of the loan. Let's repay a little bit. So now we're back at a 10 million loan, which is where we started at, and I'm going to leave it there. So we won't repay more of that because we're probably going to use that money first to make even more connections. And now we're starting to get into a position where we could maybe start looking at providing pretty decent connections between some of these facilities. Let's have a quick look at New Haven. Oh, there's a new building coming up over here. It's a small one. I thought it would be a big one. Look at this big residential building. We still haven't seen any increased demands, though, which is something that I find quite interesting. By now, I would have expected us to have more demands. But anyway, we'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on that and see what's happening. Okay, I will see you in the next episode. If you have some questions, please leave them in the comments down below. And of course, as always, please hit that like button. See you next time. Bye-bye.